What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Norwegian news. Because as an American, I never get to see Norwegian news here in the United States. So today, I really want to take some time to learn about the current news and events happening in Norway right now that I otherwise never get to hear about. So let's take a look, starting with new EU friendly leadership for Norway? New leadership? Like government? Wait a minute. How? What? New EU friendly leadership? What does this mean exactly? After 2 hectic weeks full of political speculation and new signs of public support for the EU. Oh yeah, because Norway is not part of the EU, right? It's held out on that. So Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store could announce that he will be forming a new minority government made up only of ministers from his own Labour Party? What is okay? I I kind of understand how the Norwegian government works, but it's quite a bit different from the American government that I know. So the prime minister is allowed to form a new minority government. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Is that like a whole new party? A new minority government? And it's going to be made up of ministers only from his Labour Party. Gone is his former coalition partner, the district-friendly and anti-EU Centre Party, which ended up viewing low electricity prices and national control over energy supplies as more important than European cooperation and, some say, national security. Wow, okay. So the Norwegian government has been, like up till now, made up of the Labour Party and their partner, the Centre Party. But now that's coming to an end, and it's the Labour Party and this new minority government. I'm trying hard here to kind of understand, but to be completely honest, I don't totally understand. But this is obviously huge, huge news in Norway, in the Norwegian government. At issue was whether Norway should adopt a series of EU energy directives dating back to 2018. So there was a disagreement going on in the Norwegian government, Norwegian politics, and it's finally come to a headway here, and there's a big shakeup happening in the government. Both Store's government coalition and the earlier governments have been slow to act on the directives. EU officials' patience is wearing thin. Even though Norway is not a member of the EU, it is obliged to adopt most of the EU directives under the terms of its cooperation with the EU. So the Store and his Labour Party are keen to finally adopt 3 or 4 of these energy directives. Okay. So there's big changes in Norwegian policy going on. So Norway is becoming EU friendly. Does that mean Norway is joining the EU? Or, gosh, none of this has sat well with Norway's anti-EU Centre Party, which represents farmers and rural constituents. Okay, so the Centre Party's relationship with the Labour Party is basically coming to an end. The Prime Minister announced the Labour Party thinks we should move forward with closer ties to the EU energy market, and the Centre Party doesn't want to do that. So he is saying he and his party have refused. Oh, the Centre Party has refused to go along with Store's calls to approve EU directives. Wow. They held a press conference and they confirmed the Centre Party has pulled out of the government coalition. This is one thing, this is a term I don't really understand, government coalition, or how it works with the Labor Party and the Center Party being in a government coalition. I guess that means in a partnership. Um, wow. Storr and his Labor Party will now go in alone with hopes of support from the center on other issues and from the Socialist Left Party and from other parties. So I think the Prime Minister of Norway is the leader of the majority party. That's right. I hope so. That's my understanding. So was the Labor Party only a majority with the help of the Center Party? And now that's partnership is coming to an end. Does this mean the whole government could change? The leadership could change? The prime minister could change? When I guess not until there's another election? Or how does any of this work? I don't know. I've been kind of rambling on here for a few minutes, but Storr made it clear he doesn't want the center to leave the government. What do you mean leave the government? They're leaving the government? Aren't they still a Norwegian political party? Isn't that still a part of the government? What? Some view the split as amicable, some not. This is a government split. I wish I understood this a little bit better, but I think really you have to be Norwegian or you have to really, really understand Norwegian government to truly understand what this means. But this is obviously huge, huge news. Big shake up in the Norwegian government. Wow. And Norway is becoming more friendly, closer, and adopting more policies with the EU. That's kind of where I'm going to leave that. My God, wow. I didn't expect such big news. And I don't even understand it all. But holy cow. You better believe it's funny for me to even think about normal, like, other Americans have literally no idea about this. I feel like I'm one of the only Americans who, like, I don't have anyone to talk to about this. It's like, hey, did you hear about Norway's government, Labor Party, Center Party, coalition breakup? It's like, no, nobody here in America knows about this. It's kind of crazy. So that's one of the reasons I love learning about this, because we really don't get exposed to this in America. Moving on, Stoltenberg to the rescue as Norway's new finance minister. Stoltenberg, I know that name. That's like a former prime minister of Norway, right? Now he is the finance minister. I'm not sure what the finance minister is or what they do, but Stoltenberg is working for the Norwegian government. Is that right? Jens Stoltenberg, former NATO chief and Norwegian prime minister, is making a stunning, maybe temporary return to the top of Norwegian politics. As the finance minister in the Norwegian Labour Party's new government. They keep calling this the new government. How much of a change is this in Norway? This just sounds like two parties kind of going different ways. That's what I thought. This makes it sound like the whole government is being changed. I don't know. Isn't the Labor Party still the majority party or still in control? Isn't it still the same prime minister? What is changing? Well, apparently the finance minister has changed, and it's now Jens Stoltenberg. Okay. As finance minister, he can help rescue it and perhaps fend off a trade war as he assumes political responsibility for Norway's enormous wealth. Yes, that's a very, very important position. It may be the best defense against the unpredictable Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Very true. Very true. Trump. This is stuff Americans, of course, know about and talk about, since he is our president, and all of the sort of unpredictable, sometimes crazy policies, all these tariffs, Mexico, China, Canada, tariffs on everyone, maybe tariffs on other countries, maybe tariffs on Norway, like who knows? So absolutely. So Norway kind of thinks having Stoltenberg as finance minister, he might have the experience and knowledge to be able to handle the unpredictable American government, Donald Trump. Absolutely, that makes sense to me. It's a major turn of events for Norway, who lost Stoltenberg to NATO, and now he became so internationally popular and respected during his time at NATO. So Jens Stoltenberg, I don't know much about him. Former prime minister, he worked at NATO. Apparently he's very, very, very popular. He wanted to be chief of Norway's central bank, and now he's the finance minister. He's educated as an economist. Okay. Wow. Anything else here? This is really interesting. There's some really big changes happening in Norway's government, huh? Wow. So I imagine people are happy about this. I don't know what Norwegians think about. I don't know what Norwegians think about any of this. Feel free, if you're Norwegian, feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts. You can try to explain a little of what's happening so I can understand. That'd be awesome. Or just give your opinion on what's happening in the Norwegian government. That'd be really cool to hear about from Norwegians out there. Because reading it is one thing. You know, I can only understand so much from reading about it. Reaction to Stoltenberg's appointment has been positive. Wow. Okay. Cool. Let's keep going. Norway boosts its northern defense. So, like, towards Russia, Norwegian soldiers have embarked on the longest midwinter training exercise in recent history? Oh my god, do not mess with the Norwegian Arctic soldiers. Northern Norway, look at these. Oh my god. If you can train in these conditions like Norwegian soldiers do, you can handle anything. Oh my god, that's scary. Norwegian troops are leaving their base at Helskogen in northern county of Troms. They have been selected for their ability to handle extreme cold and tough conditions. So these are some of the best Norwegian military soldiers. And what are they doing exactly? They're, according to the article, they're boosting the northern defense, which I think must refer to the Russia-Norway border, right? Is that what this is getting at? Scrolling down here. Politicians have been calling for more military presence on and around Svalbard. Svalbard, where Russia has had a settlement. Oh, yeah, it does have to do with Russia. Some think the U.S. will make a play for Svalbard, since its new, highly controversial president, Donald Trump, wants Greenland. I mean, yeah, it's interesting for me as an American to read some of this, because here in America, we only get the American point of view, the American perspective. So this is interesting. Yeah, like, in America's point of view, we have this crazy, unpredictable person just doing whatever he wants, making threats, tariff threats, threats to take Greenland, the Panama Canal, all this stuff. And from an American's point of view, it's kind of like, well, at least he's on our side. Some Americans love him, some Americans hate him, but there's also this feeling of like, well, at least he's doing all this crazy stuff, hopefully for American interests. I know that sounds very selfish, maybe egotistical, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what Americans would think about this. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but a lot more Americans need to realize what the perspective of the rest of the world is. Like here, Norway and other countries. What you guys must be thinking, looking at us, and thinking, wow, we need to, like, prepare for the absolute madness, unpredictableness of Donald Trump in the United States. And if they try to take Svalbard, like Greenland. So for most Americans are just like, whatever. He's going to do what he's going to do. That's why we elected him to shake up our government. and a lot of Americans don't realize this has really, really like important real world ramifications and effects on other countries. It's hard for Americans to realize that because he's our leader, like working for American interests, you could say. So it's hard for Americans to understand or relate to how other countries feel about it. So that's one reason I like reading about this and learning about this, because I'm sure it's very stressful. I'm sure it's stressful here. I can't imagine in other countries being affected by these policies of the United States. Anyway, Svalbard is part of Norway, so you're increasing security, and just east of Norway's border with Russia. Yes. So, Norway beefing up its defenses. Masked men fled shooting in Oslo. There's a shooting in Oslo? Wow, I did not hear about this. 3 masked men were reportedly seen running from the scene of a shooting inside an apartment in Oslo's Grünerløkka, I'm not pronouncing this right, neighborhood. A shooting in Oslo. Norway is known for its low crime, low murder. So it's so shocking whenever I see something like this. Shooting in an apartment? Wow. That's scary. Avalanche victims identified. There was an avalanche in Norway? Norwegian 4 Norwegian skiers killed in an avalanche in the French Alps. Oh, this was in France, but it was Norwegian skiers killed. That's sad. That's really sad. Of course it was. Yeah, that makes sense. Norwegians love to ski, travel to France, to the Alps to ski, trying to have a great time. Avalanches do happen, I suppose. Wow. That's really sad. Young couple found dead in Bergen? What is going on? Police in Bergen found a young couple dead in their apartment? They think the young woman died several days before her boyfriend? The cause of their deaths is unclear. They don't know. It was just a couple found dead in Bergen? You don't know how. They initially charged the 20-year-old man with the death of his girlfriend. But they said in a press conference that her body showed no signs of injury. So what? It was like a chemical or drugs or what? Both of them are dead. He could have killed his girlfriend and committed suicide. How do we know the girl didn't kill the guy? This is just bizarre. And sad. Not stuff you usually see in Norway, like I said. Norwegians are included in Trump's deportation plan. What? Norwegians? What? 39 Norwegians, according to documents from U.S. immigration, are subject to being tracked down and sent back to Norway? What? Trump has ordered immigration officials to intensify hunts for people in the United States who have overstayed their visa or don't have permission to have a residence. Oh, okay. So 39 Norwegians are subject to deportation. These are, okay, it's not like we're targeting Norwegians in the United States. It's that there are actually 39 Norwegians who are in the United States who have overstayed their visa, so that's against the law, or are just in the United States illegally. They don't have a permission to live in the United States. So, okay, I mean, this isn't that crazy to me then. I thought, like, wait, what? Are we like targeting Norwegians? This is insane. But anytime Donald Trump is mentioned, I get on edge. I'm like, okay, what is it now? This sounds like these are Norwegians who are breaking the law and shouldn't be in the United States. Like, they need to go renew their visa or get the proper paperwork or something. So, okay, that's not like crazy. Like, no matter what country you're in the world, you shouldn't break the law and be there illegally. Okay. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff here. Holy cow. A lot of stuff happening in Norway that I had no idea about. Particularly the shakeup in the Norwegian government. I don't understand everything, but I can tell it's big. Big. So I'm really glad I took a look at some of this news, because this is like the only way I ever would hear about this stuff happening in Norway. So I really enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of this Norwegian news. If you could explain the government, that'd be amazing. Your opinion on any of this news would be amazing. Or any other Norwegian news that I should know about. That'd be awesome to hear about. Feel free to leave a comment or give this video a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.